Read you a couple of short excerpts from some really transgressive and, again, massively erotic writing I've been working on. It's about steely-eyed, self-made billionaire Thaddeus Hardcock and the steamily, twisted relationship he shares with our nameless virgin narrator. Yet Thaddeus has some dark tastes that test the limits of what our blushing heroine previously thought societally acceptable. Can she tame his savage heart and teach him the ways of love? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm going to read them anyway. Excerpt 1, Thaddeus and the Bookcase. Thaddeus runs his expensive billionaire's hand over mine as I fumble to comprehend the assembly instructions for the Billy bookcase. He coughs softly. Several £50 notes flutter out of his gob like feathers from a cartoon cat what is pretending not to have done ate a bird. Our fingers trace across the diagram showing how to use an Allen key to tighten the screws on the bookcase. Screws, it's a word for sex. I turn the key poorly. You done it wrong, you slag. Like Phil Mitchell threatening someone in a really quiet and sexy pub. I have done it all wrong, and I bite my lip in anticipation as he pulls the key out of my hand like a man taking a sweet off a monkey. I'm sorry, my dark prince. I've never assembled a bookshelf with a steely-eyed, self-made billionaire before. Are you going to show me how to do it right? There is an unbearable silence. Thaddeus runs his wrist with its expensive watch down my trembly collarbone, and I do a special pre-sex gulp. I don't assemble bookcases, he tells me darkly. I fuck them. With that, he shoves me aside like a desperate man, pushing an attacking tramp into a roadside ditch, and rips off his pants. Grimacing, he ploughs away at the bookshelf as I weep into the instruction manual. I beg him to stop, but it's no use. My dark, troubled sex king has rogered some furniture. How will I ever win his heart? Excerpt 2, Private Jet Encounter. I seep like balked eggs into the deep cushions of the Harno-sand three-seat sofa, shivering in transgressive pleasure at its small, neat dimensions. It's easy to furnish with, even when space is limited. But there's no time for that. I'm in media res in an erotic situation. Thaddeus glares sexually at me from across the Gaza carpeted aisle of his Cash Monster 55 private jet, and I wheeze at his majesty. He's garbling money blurt into the world's most expensive phone, telling his scum to work harder and snarling about cash flow. But the time for business is over, he says, hurling his phone into the roaring fireplace and tipping Hendrix into his Giorgio Armani pint mug. Now bum things will happen, he growls, rising an octave on the word bum as he fights to hold down some sick. I catch sight of his cufflinks. Whoa. My orgasm smashes me apart like a cheap porcelain dog statue, slammed in the door of a Vauxhall Astra by a drunk returning from a boot sale. I know there's no resisting his hooch-crazed urges, and so I wiggle my rectum vaguely at him, hoping he will learn to love me if I let him do this vile act. The seconds draw out like treacle dripping off an object. And I quiver at the hoarse, bestial wheeze of my keeper as he attempts to stand upright while monstered on gin. I ram my back end into the air like an erotic peach at an auction for blokes who say, "Whoa," and squeak in sexy fear, but nothing touches me. For Thaddeus is robustly groining a three-compartment grid-back shoe cabinet, eyes screwed shut and lips funneled around an ecstatic Forgotten again, I sheepishly lower my abdomen like some kind of sad ant and tug into my daily allotted satsuma. How will I ever win his heart? Third and final excerpt. Thaddeus and the Art Auction. Roars Thaddeus from the chipped aquarium full of buckfast in which he has submerged his head. The gavel bashes the gavel thing. We are at Shitby's Art Palace and my wicked sex baron is engaged in an epic bidding war with his billionaire rival, the ravishing Wayne Discipline. Thaddeus waves his lumpy arms as his latest win, a colossal tin bollock engraved with a harrowing etching of a tramp's face is carted off the stage. I flutter in admiration, all crimson and floaty at his rich being. He's even tied me loosely to my chair with a skipping rope. How erotic. You'll like this next one, he murmurs through a belch, taking a sly slurp of Stone's ginger wine through a garden hose. I've done it for you. Something veiled by red velvet is wheeled on stage, and Wayne Discipline lurches to his feet, barking like a seal being forced into a well by a Turkish strongman. Brilliant! He hollers as his opening bid, then collapses, dropping his scuba tank full of Fosters as his heart gives up even trying. Loads of billions, roars Thaddeus with a merry leer, sending my scarlet love duvet all damp and mulcham with the sheer amount of money that he owns. Gasps Discipline, clawing at the air weakly as the darkness rises up to meet him, and lackeys scramble to revive him with a defibrillator. Thaddeus merely screams his own name in reply, as a platinum zeppelin full of Fabergé eggs smashes through the wall and bursts open lavishly. "Sold!" cries the vulture-like gavel man. A collective gasp, then silence. A capering simpleton begins to draw away the velvet shroud. What will it be, I wonder? A scene of devilish lust? My milky flesh tense under the sadistic attentions of my ultra-high net worth keeper? No, of course it's not. It's a stickman fucking a Berkeland wardrobe, daubed in sick on a cornflake packet. Thaddeus has a wank, the end.